Hello, I'm Sofia, part of Digital Equity and Media team at the Community Library Project. And we are pleased to have Gautam Bhatia here with us today at the library. Gautam Bhatia is a constitutional law scholar and science fiction writer from India. He is also a professor of law at the Jindal Global Law School. His work focuses on constitutional rights, free speech, and legal theory. Alongside his academic scholarship, he is also an acclaimed science fiction writer known for blending speculative storytelling with complex social and political themes. Welcome to the library. What first drew you to constitutional law, and how has your understanding of the Constitution evolved over the course of your academic and writing career?
I got interested in constitutional law when I was in university on my undergraduate degree because it seemed to be the terrain where there was intersection of politics, of rights, of just looking at public power and the way that certain values of freedom and equality, can be instantiated. So that's what drew me to constitutional law many years ago when I was still doing my undergraduate degree. And over the years, I have moved from thinking about rights or the fundamental rights chapter in the Constitution to focusing more on issues of the structure and the design of the Constitution, because often that is where the actual force of the Constitution is. So you can have a very expansive fundamental rights chapter, but if the design of the Constitution concentrates power in one or two entities, then it will be very difficult to really make those rights meaningful. So I've moved from looking at rights to looking at larger questions of constitutional design and structure.
Okay. The Constitution is described as the foundation of democracy in India, but what happened when people stop thinking about it critically and consistently?
Yeah, so I think there is a risk in, there's a risk when you make the Constitution a sacred kind of a document, and you stop looking at it from the critical perspective. So some of my recent work actually focuses on how the Constitution really is a very centralizing document. So it really encourages the centralization of power, in the executive part of the government, and it excludes, say, people from a meaningful say in constitutional governance. So these are the kinds of issues that one has to think seriously about, and there is, of course, long been an ongoing debate about to what extent did the Constitution actually successfully shake off the colonial structures of power. So I think these are ways in which we have to ensure that we don't treat the Constitution as just a sacred document, but really take a close look at its design and structure and the way that politicians really use it, and then we can have an accurate diagnosis of many of the issues that we face today.
Okay. As both a constitution scholar and a science fiction writer, do you find that speculative storytelling help you imagine alternative future for democracy and rights in India?
Well, I mean, I think when you're writing, you're not writing for a specific country or borders of a nation state. You're writing in general, and your audience is anyone, can be anyone and should be actually anyone. So I don't think that it's about democracy and rights in India, but I think that because writing science fiction lets you create different worlds, definitely yes. One of the ways that you write science fiction is to imagine alternative worlds where there could be other forms of justice or freedom or equality, and that freedom you have to create those worlds for yourself, and then of course share it with your readers. So I would say that it's not limited to India or rights in India, but it's a broader project of imagining a different kind of world and then making it feel real through the process of writing fiction.
Okay. How does Constitution help people to deal with serious disagreements about rights and justice without harming democracy?
Well, the purpose of a constitution is to create a baseline for consensus, and then to create processes for resolving disagreements. So the idea of the constitution is that you have certain values that everyone agrees on, and those are the foundational values of the republic, whatever they might be in the constitution, and beyond that, if there is disagreement, then you have the institutions that are there which will resolve disagreement. Of course, this only happens when there is broader social cohesion. If there is a division in society, then the constitution can't really help, because then there is disagreement about those very fundamental values that underpin the constitution.
So constitutional thinking requires careful reading and interpretation and dialogue. How important do you think are public spaces like free community libraries in fostering informed constitution conversation beyond courtrooms or classrooms?
Yeah, I think it's very important, because in today's day, both with the rise of technology and also I think with the rising inequality and so on, there is this lot of fragmentation and atomization of people, where it's very difficult to find spaces where you can actually engage on these issues. Because if you are of a certain socioeconomic class, then you spend a lot of your time just with your devices and on your own. And if you are from a different socioeconomic class, you'll be working most of the time. So again, there'll be no time and no space. So I think that the role that these spaces play is to create that kind of a platform where then people can think and converse, because it is very important to talk to other people, and often our critical instincts are sharpened when we engage in those conversations. So I think for that, these kinds of physical spaces are really important, and not online spaces, but actual tangible physical spaces.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us at the library and sharing your thoughts
My
with
pleasure.
our
Thank you.
library community.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.